dealing with anger towards God. Have you ever experienced road rage? Sad to say I have. And I remember an incident a few years ago that really got my attention when I was riding on the highway near my home, and the car in front of me was kind of swerving back and forth. And as I went to pass her in the passing lane, I looked over and she was veering into my lane because she was texting while driving. And I lost it. I was furious. I got really angry, and I sped ahead of her and pulled over and tried to hit my brakes to get her attention back on the road. And I took the exit, and I just kept moving. What I realized afterwards is that I had taken her behavior very personally. And of course, she had put my life and my safety at risk, as well as hers and others, by doing what she was doing. But I had lost control. And what happens is we look in the Gospels and we see that people do the same with Jesus at times. In fact, Jesus is in the synagogue, and he's talking, and at first, people are excited about what he's saying, but then he becomes a little critical towards some of the history of Israel, and people become furious with him. They actually force him out of the synagogue and towards the cliff on the edge of the hill, wanting to kill him and throw him over the hill. He slips through and gets away. But the reality is they've taken what he says very, very personally, and they've lost control because of it. Anger is personal. It can be intensely so. Dr. Julie Exline, a Christian studies professor at Case Western Reserve University, has studied this phenomenon, not just anger and how it affects us, but anger towards God. And in her studies, she talks about the fact that anger is normal. There's nothing wrong with it. But the reality is, when it festers inside us or becomes a grudge, it can become destructive, both to us and to others. So she suggests 3 steps for us to get through and deal with this anger towards God. One is to look inward and to acknowledge that something's there. I had to realize that in that experience on the highway, that something was wrong with my reaction. And as we look inward, step 2 is to share it with others, to look outward. And be affirmed that it's okay to be angry as long as it's not destructive. And then number 3 is that we have to tell God that we are angry with him. He's a big God. He can handle it. We don't have to worry that he's going to turn his back on us. And in fact, sometimes out of shame, we turn our back on him. So if you're dealing with anger with God, go inside and understand. Share it with others. And most importantly, talk to God about it. He's a big God. He's a personal God. And he can deal with your anger towards him.